late, I can't be late, I'm never late. How can I be late? I gotta find Justin so we can get this virtual show on the virtual road. I can't be late. Well, unless I start this thing myself, and then I won't actually be late. Hello everyone, and welcome to There's No Place Like Home, Hospice Toronto virtual gala coming to you from the amazing and beautiful Aga Khan Museum. We have a great show planned for you tonight. I know everybody says that, but I promise you it's true. And you may not know this, but Hospice Toronto only gets about half of its funding from the government. So it has to get the rest of its funding from amazing events like this and fantastic donors like you. So please, go to givergy.ca/Hospice Toronto and donate now and donate often, and get your friends to donate. Also, you can feed your online shopping addiction by making a bid in our online auction. Now, you don't have to do that right now because it's open to November 21st, but do go and do that. Go bid online, bid now, bid later, but you can bid later and glue yourself to the screen right now so you can watch this fantastic show. Now, I really got to go find my co-host, Justin. Justin!
Okay, I have no clue where Maggie is. I heard that she could be difficult. Or was it flaky? Or crusty? She's crusty, flaky. I feel like pie. Pie. Oh, hey. Well, I'm trying to figure out where Maggie is. It is my pleasure to introduce Ontario's Deputy Premier and Minister of Health, Christine Elliott.
Hello, everyone. I'm Christine Elliott, Ontario's Deputy Premier and Minister of Health. It's a pleasure to be speaking to you for Hospice Toronto's There's No Place Like Home virtual gala. While I wish we could do this in person, I'm so pleased that you were able to find a way to safely ensure this important event can go on. For over 30 years, the incredible healthcare workers, staff, and volunteers at Hospice Toronto have supported thousands of patients and families in Toronto with compassionate care, becoming a leader in hospice care. On behalf of our government, thank you for your compassion, selflessness, and dedication to serving your clients and your community. COVID-19 brought you new challenges, but you adapted your programming to meet these challenges and the changing needs of your community. You delivered support groups and one-on-one services virtually and provided meals and grocery deliveries to vulnerable community members, which is an initiative our government was pleased to support through the Ontario Community Support Program. Our government is committed to ensuring Ontarians receive the care, dignity, and respect they deserve in every stage of their life. And together with valued health system partners like Hospice Toronto, we are building a better connected healthcare system that is centered on the needs and experiences of Ontarians. Thank you again for your incredible efforts, and I hope you have a wonderful evening.
Dude's got to be here somewhere. This place is huge. Elegant, but huge. Here's an idea. I'm going to go ask for help. Excuse me. Hi there. I'm Maggie Casella, and I'm hosting a Hospice Toronto virtual gala, but I seem to have misplaced my co-host. You might recognize him. His name is Justin Landry. You've seen him in that movie, the Christmas movie. He was the elf. He was the elf in that Christmas movie. No, okay. All right, I got to go. Nice scarf, by the way. Very nice. Oh, that's right. We are here tonight to celebrate Hospice Toronto and the over 30 years of amazing support that they've provided. With us tonight, some people who've been on that journey are going to tell us their stories. Take a look.
My first experience with palliative care was in 1984 when I looked after Joan Partridge, a family friend who was dying of cancer at her family's cottage in Quebec. I was coached through that by Dr. Larry Liebrach, who was an expert in palliative care, which was very helpful to me. The experience with Joan showed me that it's possible to look after a dying person in the comfort of their own home as long as the people looking after them are trained. I knew Margaret through the Nellies board, and I knew what a wonderful person she was, and I also knew her through the Church of the Holy Trinity. And when I heard that she had terminal cancer, and people were trying to get together and form a team to help her at home, I signed up because I wanted to help. June Callwood wrote a book called 12 Weeks in Spring, which recounted the experience we had looking after Margaret as she was dying. And it has been an inspiration to many, many people. My recollection of this experience is that it was almost magical. It was as though everything came together. Everybody was working together, trying to think of the best ways to do things. And Margaret was such a character and so interesting herself that we all felt like this was just the best thing we'd ever done in our lives, really. I don't remember ever considering taking her to the hospital, let alone grappling with the decision. Trinity Hospice Toronto was the brainchild of some of the people who were on the Margaret team, including myself, and they were parishioners at the Church of the Holy Trinity. That's why it was called Trinity Hospice Toronto. And the idea was that they wanted to provide a service that would help people to create teams around their family, their friends, but also people who were volunteers who very much wanted to contribute by doing this. And at some point in time, they changed the name to Hospice Toronto. And it's been a highly successful and very wonderful program. People should volunteer for Hospice Toronto because it's such a good cause, and it makes you feel really good about what you're doing if you volunteer. And you never know when you're going to need it for your family or friends, and this is good training for that. I don't know of any other service like this. I think it's truly unique.
My first experience with hospice was when my friend Joanna Gollings phoned me from England and said, please would I go and check up on her sister Jenny, who'd just been diagnosed with stage 4 ovarian cancer. So at the time, I was working at a hospital looking after a flow cytometry laboratory, which was one of these laboratories which could differentiate the different leukemias and stem cells. Joanna realized that I was at the right place at the right time to get more help for Jenny. So Joanna found Trinity Home Hospice, which had its location in the office space of the Church of the Holy Trinity. And along in that office was Elaine Hall, a lovely lady with a beautiful smile. This was at the inception of Trinity Home Hospice, so there were no paid staff to support Jenny. Joanna and I were disappointed because we needed some guidance. We needed to be able to keep Jenny at home. Elaine Hall suggested that we ask Jenny to get a list of her friends, of those people she would be comfortable looking after her. And when Jenny asked for help, they all agreed instantly. We actually had meetings every 2 weeks in my apartment. There were 14 of us who actually signed up for different shifts. And we actually had a journal so that for every time we changed shifts, we would put down what Jenny had liked or disliked or not been comfortable with. And so by learning her likes and dislikes, we could actually find out what was the most comfortable way to keep her. After Jenny died, I went back to the church to meet the people who'd helped me look after her so well. After approximately a couple of years, they did in fact ask me to take on the job of being the board member for the Church of the Holy Trinity at Trinity Home Hospice. Since that time, I've stayed active, primarily as a board member and/or a committee member. I took many things away from the whole experience, including the incredible diversity of skills one needs to make sure that the person that you care about is going to have a good death. Hospice Toronto has changed dramatically since 1992. It now has a solid infrastructure of well-trained staff and volunteers.
My sister Gabrielle was diagnosed in the very last stage of lung cancer, too ill to benefit from any treatment or a stay at the Princess Margaret Cancer Center. Dr. Moore, who was treating Gabrielle, recognized that we needed help, and he referred us to Toronto Hospice, which was the name at the time. I didn't even know that such an organization existed. When I called Toronto Hospice and spoke to Blair Henry, it was like opening a tap. Help just flowed, and he coordinated all the pieces that were needed to ensure that my sister got the care that she needed. And that was extremely helpful to me and to my family. I've been a hospice volunteer since 1997. I'd like to continue for as long as I'm able. It's one of the ways that I give back to the work of the hospice. It's quite an experience to be invited into someone's home, especially when they're so ill and so vulnerable. We feel very blessed to be part of the team. Hospice Toronto attracts a diverse group of volunteers across the whole age spectrum, bringing different abilities, disabilities, and skill sets. As a Hospice Toronto volunteer, it's more than just being there. It's being present at the most important time in my client's life, and in some ways, the most important time in my life.
It's so scarfy. Makes my eyes pop. Hey, how are you? Sorry, I didn't notice you there. It is my great pleasure to now introduce Juno award-winning artist Billy Newton Davis. Enjoy.
Just yesterday morning, they let me know you were gone. Suzanne, the plans they made, putting into you. I woke up this morning and I wrote down this song. I just can't remember who to send it to. I've seen fire and I've seen rain. I've seen sunny days that I thought would never end. I've seen lonely times when I could not find a friend. Oh, but I always thought that I'd see you again. You gotta look down upon me, Jesus. You gotta help me make a stand. You've gotta help me through another day. My body's aching, whoa, and my time's at hand. You've got to help me see through another day. Oh, I've seen fire and I've seen rain. I've seen sunny days that I thought would never end. I've seen lonely times when I could not find a friend. Oh, but I always thought that I'd see you again. I'm walking my mind on an easy time, my back turned towards the sun. Lord knows when the cold wind blows, it'll turn your head around. Hours of time on the telephone line to talk about things to come. Sweet dreams and flying machines, pieces on the ground. Oh, I've seen fire and I've seen rain. I've seen sunny days that I thought would never end. Oh, I've seen lonely times when I could not find a friend. Oh, but I always thought that I'd see you again. Thought I'd see you one more time again. I've got a few things coming around me now. and rain. Yeah.
Billy Newton Davis, everybody. Thank you so much, Billy. So, folks, I'm here to remind you why we're doing this. So please visit us at givergy.ca/Hospice Toronto to make a donation, and also to check out items in our amazing silent auction, which, by the way, will be available and open until November 21st. Thanks. Martha, what are you doing here?
I'm waiting for you, Maggie, me and the audience.
Well, I'm looking for Justin. I got to find Justin. If I don't find Justin, oh, you in the audience. You have an audience? Oh, you're doing a show. Oh, geez. Oh. Hey, please help me welcome the incredibly funny, the incredibly smart, my friend, Martha Chavez.
Thank you. I am so happy to be doing a show inside. You cannot imagine. You know, this is the first show I do for an audience in which I'm not screaming. It's not that I didn't do shows in the summertime. I did shows at the parking lot of the liquor store. I did a show in the bushes. In the bushes, I did a show. There were flies. There was a ooh. I didn't know if it was a coyote or if it was the chupacabras. I had no idea. But there were flies passing all over my face. I thought that I was in a commercial for UNICEF. And I was saying, hello, I am the UNICEF kid you've been feeding all these years. 65 cents a day goes a long way. Send me money for liposuction now. I did a show at a drive-in. At a drive-in, can you imagine that? The audience was in their car. And we were here all alone speaking to the cars. And the way that they will show their appreciation was by honking their horns. Imagine that. Right? They loved me. They were bam, 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 and I was triggered because I am a Toronto cyclist. I was like, am I going to get home alive? I don't know. But imagine when they didn't like a joke. You told your joke, you told your joke, and they didn't like it. There was nobody honking, and you were there in the wind, a silent tear rolling down my cheek, and they were looking at us in a giant screen. Imagine my face in a giant screen. My face has become so big, I have to have 2 Facebooks. That's where we are at, you know, but I gained weight. I gained weight during the pandemic. I had lost 20 pounds in 2019, and I gained 40 pounds in 2020. You know, like, and it is because I said to myself, every day I said to myself, what if I get the corona and I didn't eat the stupid cookie? You know, you have to carpe diem. You have to carpe the cookie. That's what I say. Carpe the cookie. But it's been hard, you know, and I'm glad that you're here because you are vaccinated or you are very good forgers. I have no idea what it is. I'm glad about the vaccine, you know, because I was never that picky with the things that I put inside my body. Never. I once ate sushi from a gas station in Fairview, Alberta, near the tar sands, where there is no fish. I took the gamble, I took my vaccine. The only thing I don't like about the vaccine is that you have to show your ID wherever you go, and now I am out. Everybody knows my age, you know. Everybody knows at the comedy clubs how old I am. I've been lying about my age all my life, you know. I came to this country when I was 17 years old, 3 years ago. And but you know what they say about skin? They say, when you start having bags under your eyes, if you want to get rid of your bags under your eyes, you have to rub preparation H. Preparation H for the hemorrhoids. Who found that out? How close did you have to be? It must have been a customs officer who found that out. Oh, there's no cocaine in there, but somehow I feel rejuvenated. Go tell everybody. But you know what has been very hard in the pandemic? To exercise, because I do exercise. I am chunky and everything, but I like to go for my walk because I am under the tyranny of the Fitbit. I have to do my 10,000 steps every day. But I found out that when you move your hands, it registers the steps, so when you're eating your nachos, 10,000. But no, I like to go for a walk, and it was very hard because all of the bathrooms in Toronto were closed. Like before, when you go for a walk, you go to Tim Horton, you go to a hotel, whatever. But here you couldn't go anywhere. It was awful. I wanted to order a salt lick from Amazon, to retain water, but they didn't have it. It was one of the few things they didn't have. I ordered a unicorn hat. I ordered a lot of things, a sword, a lot of things, but not my salt lick. So I started eating prosciutto and anchovies before working out. So I would retain everything because I didn't want to go with a towel outside, so when I felt like peeing, to put it on my head and just pee in a corner, because what if I like it? What if it becomes a thing? Even when we are not during the plague. And once I was walking around the beaches, the eastern beaches, not the beaches. Like sometimes it's confusing the way I say it, and I wouldn't walk around the beaches because, they are beaches. But I was walking, around the beaches, and I see a bathroom open. I see this bathroom, the little bathroom there, open, and I go inside. I couldn't wait anymore. I go inside, and the place is filthy. And it smelled as if somebody had gone to the bathroom after eating a sandwich of skunk from Chernobyl. You know what I mean? And the floor was sticky. The floor was so sticky, so I opened the door with a kick. Pa! I closed the door with my elbows. And then when I take a gander in the toilet, it looks like the 9 circles of hell of Dante's Inferno. But then I realized that I'm very lucky that the floor is sticky because I can just plant myself, Plant myself. It's like if I have suction cups underneath my shoes. And I'm not going to fall down because sometimes you plant yourself, but you get distracted. Oh, spider. And then you fall down. But this time I know that I can just pee to my heart desire. And then when I realize that there is no toilet paper, I can just shake the chimichanga. I wasn't going to wipe with my shirt. I'm a classy broad. I wasn't going to put my leg up that thing, the thing that blow dries your hands. Because what if I like it? What if it becomes a thing? You know what I mean? I know it would be delicious. And I wouldn't like to do that because then I would have to go in all the public bathrooms in Toronto and you will see me on CP24 with my hoodie and I will still be wearing my mask. Because I love to wear the mask. I love it. I love it because it gives me anonymity and because of the pelican. You know what I mean? Before the pandemic, I was considering getting rid of the pelican. And then my mother told me, no, all you have to do to get rid of the pelican is to do this. But it doesn't get rid of the pelican. It gets rid of people. You do that in a public place, and they leave you alone. That's the way I navigated the pandemic before I had masks, because at the beginning we didn't have masks, remember? And at the beginning we were so confused. I was in Niagara Falls when I heard on Friday, the 13th of March of 2020, when I heard that I was going to have to go into lockdown. And then, because I am from Nicaragua, I have survived an earthquake, a revolution, the exile. Then my stomach gets that sensation that I have to go in survival mode. Whereas my wife, she's from Mississauga, she hasn't survived anything. The last thing she survived was the snowstorm in 1998. When they had to call the army because it snowed. Yeah, so then I take it upon myself to be the one who is going to go out to forage for food. And I will go to Loblaws as if I am Christopher Columbus, because everything was new. I was going to go discover a new planet, and then I will get to Loblaws. I discover this supermarket. It is mine. Behold the arugula. Behold the prosciutto. Behold the anchovies. Thank you very much for listening to me. Thank you.
Martha Chavez, everybody. Martha, you are amazing. She's one of my favorites. And oh my gosh, look what happened. I'm here right now in the audience with three very special people who have a close relationship with Hospice Toronto. Nazir, Adriana, and Haley, they're here. You guys, can you tell us a little bit about what you do with Hospice Toronto and what your roles are? And Nazir, we're going to start with you.
Hospice Toronto is a terrific organization. I'm a volunteer. I'm chair of the board of directors at Hospice Toronto. My role involves leadership, oversight, and strategic direction. As an entrepreneur and a business owner, those skills have come in very handy.
Yeah, I'll say. And Adriana, what about you?
I'm a hospice care companion, and that means that I actually give care to people who are going through death and dying, but I'm actually paired with the primary caregiver this time. And I'm there to help her recharge and focus on herself so that she then can be ready to give care to the person who's dying. And I actually thought it would be difficult because of COVID. We had to only have our sessions on the telephone. Mm-hmm. But it was actually a really good time that we set aside, and she could just focus on herself, have a cup of tea with me on the phone, and just gab and get things off her chest. It was a really good self-care moment for her.
Yeah, and I think it's interesting because nobody talks on the phone anymore.
No.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's almost this intimate thing, and that's connection. And I think, to your point, we have to take care of the people who take care of people as well, and never forget that. Yeah. So thank you for that. And Haley, just so our audience understands, you're a young carer, which means that you are caring for a family member. So how old are you, and who are you caring for in your family?
I am 11 years old, and I care for my little sister, Jessica.
Okay, and what's your take on the Young Care program? First of all, tell us a little bit about it, and then sort of tell us your favorite parts of the Young Care program.
So the Young Cares program is really awesome. We do a lot of really fun arts and crafts, and it's really nice because every week I get to log on and see my friends and make new friends and see the amazing program leaders in Chelsea, and it's a lot of fun.
So when you say your friends, these are other young carers, right? So they're in the same boat you are.
Yeah, so they all know what it means to be a young carer, because some people's like, a young carer, what? Yeah. And so you're like, a young carer, I take care of someone in my family who might need a bit more care. So it's nice because they actually know and then know the young carer stuff.
Yeah, Yeah, well, that's great. And who knew that during a pandemic you would be like ending up making up all these new friends, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so there's a little plus side to it.
Hello to my friends at YCP if you're watching.
Yay, hey, hi, her friends. So Nazir, during the pandemic, you haven't actually been able to go into people's homes or get together in person. How has Hospice Toronto adapted?
Yeah, with the pandemic, the problem has been increased services for grief and bereavement, and also increased online services for young carers. We've actually also introduced a new program with delivering 16,000 hot meals to the needy. So that's been a terrific program, and I'm so proud of the staff and the volunteers like Adriana, like Haley. They're doing a terrific job.
Yeah, you guys are doing a terrific job. And Haley, what are those virtual young care programs like for you? In other words, like what? Just give me an example of something that you do.
So we've done, one of the ones that I really had fun doing was the cooking program, and it was really amazing. Of course, they couldn't like come and open up the oven or pull out your muffins or whatever you're making, but they did a really good job at like explaining and really like helping you out. And so it was really fun to do, and it was really like they were actually there, except for the whole them being there part.
Yeah, they were there except they weren't there.
Exactly.
What did you make, can I ask?
So we made apple streusel muffins and candy bar squares and brownies, which were maybe my favorite. Those are the muffins. And we made one more thing, which I can't quite remember right now.
It's okay, you have me at brownies. You know, did you bring some? You didn't,
No.
did you? What can you do me a favor and tell me if you could each share the one thing about Hospice Toronto that is, you know, super special to you. Adrienne, I'll start with you.
Well, I actually started training as a bereavement and grief group facilitator, and I'm actually really eager to start a group later this year because on top of giving care companionship, I want to help people with the different types of loss that they've experienced through COVID.
Oh, yeah.
Not just people, but places, things, timelines that we're no longer going to be experiencing, and we're grieving those things. So to be able to facilitate a group where people can come together and share about those losses and maybe get a few tools in the toolbox, so to speak, to learn to deal with that would be really great.
Yeah, I feel like you're ahead of the curve on that because it is a whole thing that we're going to have to deal with, right?
Yeah.
That there isn't there aren't services in place for that. What about you, Nazir?
Most people don't realize the range of services that we offer, you know, the depth and the breadth. You know, it goes all the way from young carers and all the way to, you know, in-home services and then grief and bereavement. So we're there, you know, all the way through a difficult journey. My mom is in her 90s, and I know how important it is for her to be independent and to stay at home as long as she's possibly able to do that. And we want her to have that dignity. So it's all about that. And the other important thing is funding for Hospice Toronto. So we do our best. That's one of my responsibilities, is to make sure Hospice Toronto is well funded. So to our donors and sponsors, a special thank you.
Well, and that's my cue to sort of say, let's keep those donations coming so Toronto Hospice can keep all of these fantastic programs running. Some of which, I mean, I'm learning right now as we sit here is so much broader than what you think a Hospice Toronto would do, what you're doing now. Speaking of fantastic, let's give a last word to Haley. If you were telling a friend who is also a young carer about YCP, what would you say to that person?
So first of all, YCP is awesome. So he should definitely join. And I actually do have a friend who qualifies for YCP. So I was telling her all about it and all the nice people and the fun activities we do, and telling her like she should definitely join, or at least think about joining because it's awesome.
It's awesome, and you feel connected. So Haley's friend, if you're out there, we're telling you, join Haley and the other young carers. So thank you all for coming tonight and for doing this. Thank you for your work, taking care of your sister and hanging out with those other young carers and being supportive of them. Thank you for taking care of the people who take care of people. And you, I mean, you know, you have just a small job, so I'm not going to take the time to thank you for all of the work that you're doing. It's a huge job, so thank you all so much.
Thank you, Maggie.
Thank you.
Okay, I probably should have charged my phone. Does anyone have a charger?
Sorry. I know it's a museum. I am sorry, I need a phone charger.
Oh, hi guys. It is my pleasure to introduce a wonderful friend of Hospice Toronto. Please welcome Toronto City Councillor for St. Paul's, Mr. Josh Matlow.
Thank you very much, Justin. This is Josh Matlow, Toronto City Councillor, here to express my heartfelt gratitude to Hospice Toronto for the important services that you provide our friends, our neighbors, our loved ones in this city who are facing the end of life. Over the past 2 years, your volunteers, facing unprecedented challenges, have found creative and innovative ways to support people, to support their families and their caregivers at a time when it has been hard to even touch somebody's hand, to offer an embrace, and to be there physically in the way that so many of us have been wanting to for a very long time. On behalf of all of the people of Toronto, I'm here to say thank you. And Justin, back to you.
Come on, you overpriced bag of chips. 2% battery life, that's enough to see 2, 4, 7, 8, 9. 9 texts for Maggie. That's a bit much. Oh, she is looking for me and not happy. Okay, well, I deal with this. It is my distinct pleasure to introduce to you an actor, life coach, trainer of storytellers, the very talented Colette Mix. Please enjoy.
So, 20 years ago to this day, I am sitting with my 3 sisters and my mom, and we are like birds on a wire, perched, tense, sitting upright on this green couch, holding each other's hands tightly, waiting, waiting, waiting for the doctor to arrive. We're in the east wing of the Montreal General Hospital, one of these beautiful solariums that are looking out onto the beautiful Mont-Royal. And the doctor is about to arrive. My heart is beating. There's a weight lying on top of my chest that's been there for 3 months. And I can taste blood in my mouth because I'm biting my bottom lip. What is this doctor going to say? What are they going to say about Dad? You see, my dad had just retired from a 50-year career of working as a project manager in international construction. He had traveled the world, doing so many cool things, and bringing us, his daughters and his wife, with him. He was the man of the house. He was our hero. And 2 weeks after he retires, he gets a pain in his back, goes to the hospital, and he's given a diagnosis, or as I like to think of it, a death sentence. I remember the day he came home from the doctor with my mom, and he walks up the stairs, he smiles at me, gives me a kiss on the cheek, and goes to the kitchen to make tea. And I look at my mom, I go, what happened? And she comes close to me and she goes, sweetheart, they said he's got stage 4 cancer. He's got 3 months to live. And I said, what, stage 4? How many stages are there? And she looks at me and she goes, 4. There's only 4. And I just think that that's stupid. I've never heard anything like this before. I have no idea what's in store. Now you see, my mom and dad immigrated from Ireland when they were in their early 20s. and they were very, very close. And my mom always had a way of telling her daughters how we needed to behave in moments of crisis. So in this particular moment, she leans in and she goes, I think your father's in denial, but we're going to go along with it. If he didn't hear that he only has 3 months to live, God help us, then we're not going to bring it up, all right? Promise me that. And I promised my mom. And for 3 months, I went with that. Every week, we would give him his medication. We'd bring him to the hospital. He'd try some chemo. He'd try some radiation. And every week, he got a little bit worse. He'd lose more weight. He'd lose his hair. And then eventually, his systems started to shut down until we had to admit him to the medical ward at the Montreal General Hospital. And that's where I stayed with him every night. And my mom too. We never left his side. Until finally he had to go on dialysis. And at this point, this was when the team of doctors wanted to have that talk with us. And I'll never forget when that head doctor turned around the corner and walked into that solarium. I really felt as though I was in the presence of something greater and larger than myself. And I know that sounds a bit crazy, but I could even imagine I saw wings sprouting from this doctor's shoulder blades. He had silver gray hair, dark brown eyebrows, blue eyes, and a beautiful, beautiful disposition. And he looked at all of us with such kindness and explained that this is the time that we focus on Patty's comfort. We've been focusing now on the disease, and now it's time to shift our focus to his quality of life. We really believe now's the time for him to go to the palliative care ward, and we'd like you to consider that. And immediately that weight was lifted off my chest and dissolved in the air. And I could feel that I could breathe again. And I looked at my mom and she was crying. And I looked at my sisters and some of them were nodding their heads saying, no, we can't. And I thought, we need to talk to Dad. Dad's been in denial this whole time, believing that he can beat this cancer. So we all go into his room. And we're all around the bed looking at him. And he wakes up and he looks at each of us. And my mom starts to flit around the room. She can't bear this. She doesn't want to tell him. It turns out she doesn't have to. Because in that moment, my dad looks at his 4 daughters and he says, sweethearts, I have to tell you all something. And we leaned down and said, yes, Dad? And he looked up and he said, I think I'm dying. And for some reason, your mother doesn't have a clue. But I need you all to take care of her. And I want you to know that I love you all and I'm so very proud of you all. But please take care of your mother. Break it to her gently. And we promised Dad we would. And we told Mom. And she was so relieved. And that next day we brought him to the palliative care ward and we were able to surround him with so much love. And he lasted 3 weeks. And I'm forever grateful to that angel, that doctor who gave us the opportunity to make that change, to enter into that beautiful end-of-life care. Thank you.
Thank you so much for sharing your story, Colette. And guess why I'm back? That's right, to remind you all to support this great event through your donations by going to givergy.ca/Hospice Toronto. And while you're there, check out the great items available through our silent auction, which will continue until, wait for it, November 21st. Thanks again. Don't ask me how I got in here, and don't ask me how I'm going to get out. I mean, without stepping on it. Not like I'm going to step on it. I'm in a museum, not my living room. Not that I step on things in my living room. Okay, I do. It doesn't matter. In the meantime, we have an incredible performance from the Juno Award-winning, Order of Canada holding, mom, philanthropist, singer-songwriter, the amazing, my really good friend, Molly Johnson.
From The Color Purple, this is Miss Celia's Blues.
You've been on my mind, sister, we're two of a kind, so sister, I'm keeping my eyes on you. I bet you think I don't know nothing about singing the blues, but oh sister, have I got news for you? I'm something. I hope you think that you're something too. Oh, Scoffland, I've been up that lonesome road, and I've seen a lot of suns going down. Oh, but trust me, no low life's gonna run me around. So let me tell you something, sister. Remember your name, no twister, gonna steal your stuff away, my sister. We sure ain't got a whole lot of time. Okay, fellas, talk to me now. Come on now. Yeah. I've been up there on some road, and I've seen a lot of suns going down. Oh, but trust me, no low life's gonna run me around. So let me tell you something, sister. Remember your name, no twister, baby. Gonna steal your stuff away, my sister. We sure ain't got a whole lot of time. So shake your shimmy, sister. 'Cause honey, Miss Molly is fine. Oh yeah, baby, I'm feeling pretty sweet.
Okay, I think I figured this out. I just have to loop this thing over that door and pull myself out. And then I get to go meet Justin, who's finally texted me that he's in the auditorium. I mean, nobody told me he was flaky. In the meantime, let's hear from some of our young carers.
My name is Najiha and I'm 7 years old.
I'm Chloe and I'm 13.
I'm 11 years old.
I'm 13 years old.
I'm 10 years old.
And I am 8 years old. I'm a young carer for my mom and they have ALS.
I'm a young carer for my brother Alex. He has autism.
I think some of the biggest challenges about being a young carer
are that people don't always understand your situation.
My name is Sumiha and I'm 15 years old. I'm a young carer for my mother and she has ALS. So it's a nerve disease that basically kills all your nerves until you can't breathe, and it usually takes 2 to 5 years. It does get really hard at times. Right now my mom is in a wheelchair, so I always help her get out or in of the house. I help her turn in bed at night if my dad's asleep. As a student who goes to school, it's hard to do my homework when I have somebody to take care of. I miss out on hanging out with my friends outside if I have to stay home and take care of my mom. I joined the Young Carers program because I've never heard of anything like this. The Young Carers program makes me feel less alone because everyone here is a young carer. The Young Carers program is really important for other young carers, and after you join, you'll feel so much better about yourself because so many other kids go through the same thing. I made so much new friends and I'm definitely coming back next year.
My parents told me about it and I thought it'd be a good idea to find other people who understand my situation and that I can relate to.
My favorite part about the Young Carers program is that we get to hang out with friends and have fun.
After I joined the program, it made me see that I was not the only one and that there's others going through the same or similar situations as I am going through.
The program teaches us something new every day. We learned how to deal with stress. We learned how to explain to other people about our roles in our families. We learned how to deal with our worries, and we just learned how to have a good time.
Thank you.
All right, I've got her. There she is. Well, I guess it's true what they say about her. Maggie is a total flake. Anyway, while we wait for her, it is my absolute honor to introduce the reigning queen of jazz, blues, and gospel, a star of Canadian television and musical theater, the fabulous Jackie Richardson.
A figure made of clay. I think about the things I lost, things I threw away. But when I'm in a certain mood, I search the halls and look. One night I found these magic words in the magic book. Throw it away, live your life, give your love each and every day. Keep your hands wide open, let the sun shine through, 'cause you can never lose a thing if it belongs to you. There's a hand that rocks the cradle, a hand to help you stand, with a gentle kind of motion as it moves across the land. And the hands unquenched and open, gifts of love and life it brings. So keep your head wide open if you're needing anything. Just throw it away, throw it away. Live your life, give your love each and every day. Keep your hand wide open, let the sun shine through, 'cause you can never lose a thing if it belongs to you. what we own and claim, possessing and belonging to, acknowledging a name. So keep your hand wide open if you're needing love today, 'cause you can't lose it even if you throw it all away. So throw it away, throw it away. Live your life, give your love each and every day. Keep your hand wide open, let that sun shine through, 'cause you can never lose a thing if it belongs to you. You can never lose a thing if it belongs to you. You can never lose a thing if it belongs to
Excellent. I'm almost there. But first, I want to introduce a Canadian hero, a former world champion in the hurdles, a past Olympian, and right now a kick-ass broadcaster. You probably saw her covering the Tokyo Olympics. Please welcome Perdita Felician.
Hello, everyone. Perdita Felician here. What am I? I guess I'm an Olympian, a world champion, broadcaster, author. But I wanted to just send greetings to each and every one of you who are supporting tonight's really special event. Thank you to Hospice Toronto for all the care and the compassion that you take in making sure that our loved ones are taken care of in their final days and their final moments. I know my husband's grandfather was in hospice care towards the end of his life, and how comforting it was to be able to see him and visit him and know that he was okay. So thank you for everything. It is a virtual world now, right? But that doesn't make the cause and your efforts and your determination any less, right? So thank you once again. You're an organization that people really don't know about until they need you. But of course, we're so grateful that you're there, that you volunteer, that you give your time and your compassion. So enjoy the evening, enjoy the gala, and keep going. And thank you.
Oh, there he is. Man, oh man, so not cool. It's not like I was late. Hey, Justin. Hello. Well, the show ain't over yet, folks. We still got another great performance from one of my favorite Canadian jazz singers. Please welcome the incredible Julie Michaels. Take a look.
Time after time, if you fall, I will catch go slow, I fall behind. Second-hand unwinds. If you're lost, you can look and you will find me. Time after time. If you fall, I will catch you. I'll be waiting. Time after time. If you're lost, you can look and you'll find me there. Find me there. Time after time. If you fall, I will catch you. I'll be waiting there. Time after time. Time after time. Time after time. I will always love you. I will always love you, baby. I will always love you, darling. Catch you when you fall. Time after time. Time after time. Time after time. Time after time.
Let that smile. Oh, dude, I am so sorry.
No, I am sorry. I mean, who doesn't charge their cell phone before a gig?
Well, I mean, I do. I would never not. I mean, if I didn't charge my cell phone, I would be late, and I'm never late.
I was late.
What?
What? Nothing. I'm just so glad that you're here.
Yeah, me too. So now we can co-host the rest of the show together. Here we go. Let's do this.
And that's our show, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us tonight. We had a wonderful time. We want to thank all our performers who contributed to this very worthy cause.
Really, man?
And right now on your screen, we're sharing a view of our fabulous sponsors. We absolutely could not have done this without them, so thank you, one and all.
Also, please note that these events and events like this are very important in funding Hospice Toronto, because we don't get all the money from the government, people. A lot of it comes from you. So please go to givergy.ca/Hospice Toronto and make a donation. Get your friends to make a donation. Donate, 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 donate. Did I mention they should donate?
They should donate.
Yeah, and we appreciate any donation, big or small. It all helps us do our work.
Look, the fun and participation doesn't have to end now. You can go to the website, donate to the silent auction. It's open until November 21st, but why not just do it right now?
Do it now.
Do it now.
Or be like me and procrastinate, but, you know, put a little thing on your watch so it, like, buzzes at you, because, you know, that's always I really love when it tells me to calm down. Shut up! Anyway, also a big shout out to our performers and participants tonight. Everyone who came here and helped with this was a volunteer, 100%, and we really, honestly, very much appreciate your time.
And what about the Aga Khan?
What about the Aga Khan? Did you know you could also rent the Aga Khan Museum as an event space? Because you can. So it's not only a beautiful space, it is also available for you to rent as an event space. Go to Aga Khan Museum website, talk to them about it, and, you know, why not? It is beautiful.
And elegant.
And huge. Did I mention it was huge? Because you could actually lose someone in a place like this. Not that that would happen to me.
Anyway, that's it. We had a wonderful time this evening, a lot of fun. We thank you so much. We hope to be able to see you in person next year.
I would do this again with you in a heartbeat, sir. Have a great night, everybody. 6 feet, please.
Yep.